All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Going to be a short one today. We got soccer this week, so we will be ending it at about half after the hour, whatever that is for you. It's four after the hour right now. Okay, so let's get to the markets, which did not really do anything good over the past week. Not really. We did find some support here. We found a little bit of support yesterday, but I don't like the fact that we sold off at all. We backed away from a high. We have a lower high now. Doesn't really look like anything discernible at the moment, just a consolidation, but there's a possibility that it could turn into something else. Hey, what up, English? Could turn into something else later, but right now it's really not doing anything. So the good news is now is that we don't really have a major lower low on the daily chart. Our swing lows still have higher highs, and so I think that is positive. 64,451 seems to be a minor pivot point for the moment and holding. That's good. This trend line can probably go. I'll probably redraw it anew some other time. This one has been holding us up. Fortunately, it's been. Oh no, that's our second anchor point. Oh, third anchor point. Yeah, it did hold us up. There's a second anchor point. There's a third anchor point. Well above this one, that's a good thing. Above the 64,451, that's a good thing. Unable to break past the 68.7, that's not a good thing. And that's what we're looking for to break right now. Yesterday and the day before, we put in kind of a double top scenario. That's really what's holding us down at the moment. We had this not good candle here. Really wasn't. It's really not a doji. It's really a nothing candle, but it's a no progress candle if we can call it that. So kind of a no progress candle there. Come to here essentially double top, slightly lower high, but volume increases dramatically, and also the next candle is increased. As I watch my kids and my kids' friends somehow, where are they going? Oh, they're going to Hunter's house. Oh, okay, shoot. All right, my life just got a little bit more complicated. So my wife just left with my 13-year-old, my 10-year-old, and his friend who came over here early this morning, are going to his other friend's house, and we have to leave in 30 minutes. So yeah, this is fun. What up, Ian? Increasing volume on the way down here. We did get a reprieve to selling here with the widest doji bar in history. I guess that'd be called a spinning top. And then we have not a hammer candle, but with a big wick to the downside. So nothing super classical. Not even a lower low to try to even consider this some type of a double bottom as this base is. But consolidation. We'll see where we go. The alts just got hammered, and these top coins are not looking that great. BTC got a little bit wider with all this action over the past couple of days. That's not ideal. Yesterday's volume, obviously, not ideal, um, but with a little bit of support. So it's, yeah, slightly eh, I guess is the term, slightly eh. Not a lot going on, but we haven't broken down, so we still have a little bit of faith in the alts until they do break down. There's a possibility that they could. We'll take a little bit of look at some of the altcoins later on, and you'll see they're just horrible. Looking a little bit like Ethereum, which is the next coin we're going to talk about. Not looking too good. Getting too close to this trend line for comfort. We should be well past the point of coming back down and retesting this trend line, but we're not. So that means we're not that healthy, at least in Ethereum. But Solana's really taken Ethereum's thunder. If y'all haven't heard, Solana is now overtaken Ethereum in terms of fees per day. That was my last understanding of that situation. So maybe some Ethereum switching over to Solana, causing some distribution. I'm not fully sure on that one, but it looks like something like that is going on. Tron's coming up too, and Tron's been doing well also. So Ethereum here, bottoming candle there on the shorter time frame, but a lower low. Underneath, lots of moving averages, and just not in a good situation right now. Starts breaking this longer trend line. I don't think you want to even hold Ethereum if this breaks. To be quite honest with you, I don't even think it's on the table anymore. I think it goes away. I think you I think you look for other assets or just keep it in some kind of USD tether type of a situation. But if that breaks, that's not good. This trend line has held us up this entire trend all the way back to June 2022. We can zoom out and kind of look at the bigger picture than that. But you start breaking these really long-term trend lines, And that's why it's called the trend line. Because if the line doesn't hold, the trend doesn't hold. That's kind of how it ends up. We could even use this as an example. This is how I kind of developed my pie method. You start breaking, look at that, you start breaking those trend lines. So actually, I'm giving up a little bit here. See, I have a little bit more there, which should make that look a little bit more better. So small wick under there. A small wick like that's not so bad. Because think about it from this perspective. If you're managing money, right? Like, okay, well, this trend line's been going on for years. It's done. Well, it broke it on low volume. It really wasn't a huge issue. And then you have a high volume. So even if you did sell it, you can buy it right back. You know? But then you get some more warning signs. And then it finally starts chopping through it. And then it's done. So pick your poison. Pick your poison. But eventually these trend lines, when they start to break, you really don't want to be involved any longer. And Ethereum is unfortunately really close to that point. All right, next up is BNB, which is almost a stable coin at this point, holding pretty sideways. 606.30 still in play. Not a good day yesterday. Volume's pretty low. I have to, if I zoom out here, if you look at my volume lines here, it's this orange average volume line is diminishing. And it's hard to differentiate really between the highs and lows of this whole area. So you zoom in and then you can see a little better that the selling pressure is ramping up just a smidge. Neither buyers or the sellers never have an edge. We really don't have any pocket pivots. A couple of small red ones here that aren't of consequence in reality. This one was already well after it dropped. That could be considered a bottoming candle. In fact, that is a bottoming candle. Some small movement underneath of it, but really not much. And we're still above that bottoming candle. So BNB's doing okay. Solana, unfortunately, pulling in, testing the 159.72. There you go. There's the retest of the 159.72. High volume. That's kind of what we got with BTC and some of these other ones. Not too bad. Not too bad right there. Selling started. And so it's doing okay, holding its trend line. I'm just going to the close right there on the extension up. I'll give up a couple of wicks on that to keep price tight. But that's about as tight as it gets. You could draw another trend line off of that. Something as this. And we jump back above that quickly, so that's pretty good. What's up, Mike? Short show today. I got soccer, or some people call it football, with the kids at the top of the hour. So I got about 15, 18 minutes. We're gonna end at about half of the hour. Anything you want to go over, Mike, specifically? Otherwise, I'm just keeping going through the top 20 here. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm gonna say about BTC. XRP, this is where it starts to get nasty. So we broke this upward sloping trend line. Not too much going on. But then yesterday you get this, and today isn't very promising for a return, for a bounce back by any stretch of the imagination. So not looking super great. And XRP underneath some of these recent lows, not a good thing. Looking like starting, the next leg of the downtrend. TON, very similar situation. This is where you start to see, I've been talking about all week in the newsletter how the top coins are looking stable, but everything else is really weak. And this is indicative of that weakness. High volume, double average volume on TON to the downside. Doge pulling back in past the breakout point. Doge had kind of a weird but a pretty good run. I say weird because it never really had a great starting point. I guess you could have got something off that flat area there. That was probably about the only time, maybe one of those, but pulling back in pretty dramatically. And we'll see where that goes. We'll see where it leads us, but I don't think much to do right now on that. Same with Cardano. I don't think there's much to do with Cardano here as it's dropping down dramatically. So pretty much a lot of these things are dropping down quite a bit. And you start to see that. Tron, one of the few holding up. Tron's one of the good tokens at the moment. BTC, Solana, and Tron seem to be the three that are doing the best. 1640, playing with it, undercut it, but bouncing back. VA tool shows the sellers came in, but the buyers are still pretty much around. Haven't really fully gone away with a lower high right now. Could be a trend change though. So that is a failure above the 1640. It's not great. It's not horrible. AVAX a little horrible. Definitely broke that trend line on high volume. That is a red flag in my book. We talk about those long trends. This isn't super long, only goes back to August, but still, it's a pretty long uptrend, given the whole chart you see in front of you. And so speaking of which, those trend lines, this one I think was adjusted to the point where it broke. Yeah, this one got adjusted. We started here and it just adjusted it along the way. Never really got that far up. AVAX never really was a leader. The market never really latched onto it. I don't think it had the cachet that Solana had. It probably would have done a lot better if Solana had come along. AVAX, I think, is good stuff, but market doesn't seem to think so. Shiba Swap broke down a little bit. Again, we get these extensions down with really not a bottoming candle on a lot of these, although you do have, if you come back down here and test and find a smaller bottoming candle, you could maybe try to pick some up for a trade or something, but we're still in very dangerous territory. I've been saying all week, and I said it last week too, maybe more last week, I'd rather be late than early to, whenever this rally comes, because this market has just been brutal trying to participate. DOT, not looking strong. It never really did. Bitcoin Cash, still chopping it up. Pretty wide candles, especially look at these past couple days. Pretty wide candles, pretty big volume. Not a good sign. Small H on the 2-hour. Chainlink, a bunch of garbage. Near, horrible garbage. You don't want that candle to be there, and you don't want to be living down here still. See, that's the thing. Look where my cursor is on the daily and then on the 2-hour. We have a full-blown H underneath my cursor on the 2-hour. Not a great sign. SUI broke down from this trend line, testing this one, which also happens to coincide with the 50-period moving average. So far holding a little bit up, but this was an exit a while ago. We had it as an exit, I believe, on this candle. Was it this one? I think it was. A little early, but kind of in line with where we are now. If you held or got back in, you could have tried to get back on the breakdown of this bear flag or something. But SUI did show some leadership. And the fact that it is not doing good is leadership in of itself. So pretty good. LTC choppy garbage. ICP choppy garbage, even extending lower. Leo garbage all the way around. Uniswap never really did anything good. And I think that's all I got. I'm not even sure. Oh no, we did have one good one on the newsletter. I'm going to the newsletter now. Yeah, Ray. And we'll go through some of the newsletter pairs and just how bad they are. It just does not look good. But Ray is still managing, for some reason. Ray's on AVAX, if I'm not mistaken. Ray's doing pretty good up here. Yesterday with the high volume stalling candle / selling candle, whatever you want to call it. V8 tool shows tons of distribution up here. I'm not sure we're going to get a bunch of upside movement on this one. It's going to be tough. I just think it's going to be tough to make any progress in reality. So let's go through, we'll just walk through from the top down on these. It's really not looking very good. All the way back to the bottom there. That one coming back to recent lows. Looking like a head and shoulders type of pattern on the 2-hour time frame for Aave. Ace, big wide candles, but right back down. You don't want to mess with that. Algo's new recent lows. Some of these look okay for shorting, but not great. They're not dramatically good for shorting. They're just okay. Next up, we got AMP, which is just been chopping for forever. APT dropping down a little bit there. ARB towards recent lows. ARC with a big red candle down. The only good thing about some of these is there's not a lot of volume implied. So AR, a new low there on the chart altogether. Probably not an all-time low, but definitely not good even getting down to those levels. That's not good. A lot of them have that look to it. AR down. AXS with you see the volume on the chart, but look at all these candles to the top. And look at the volume aggregation tool. It tells that story. Bam, right there. Even with the pocket pivots on the green, they go to the red. So that's not a good sign. It means there was some excitement, but it all got sold into. Unable to clear that 550 level. Band kind of a recent low. BAT not looking very good. Bitcoin Cash, choppy garbage. Blur, straight down, garbage. Just nothing looking good. I'm just going to go through this like once a second. If you look on the right of this chart, you're going to see a lot of wicks, and the problem is we're sitting lower. That's the main problem. Not to mention something like cream, which has just been in this perpetual weird ass downtrend. That's a good short right there. Even extended is probably a good short. EGLD, just a tough situation across all of these alts. Really none of them posted anything even. I'm just looking at the far right side of the daily chart on the right. Just nothing looks good. This looks like crap. That came down garbage. Fast tokens flat, but whatever. Gala crap. GFT not as a big down day as some other ones, but definitely a down day. And GFT also under all these lows from the past several weeks. Garbage, garbage. There's a bit of a wick on gate chain, but that's not a very inviting chart regardless, nor is it a leader. So, I mean, you have to keep in mind you have to let 90% of charts go anyways, even if they look good. You just realize they suck. Helium not too bad. Really didn't fulfill the head and shoulders pattern, not yet. We'll see if it comes back down and tries again. That's ICP. Icon lower, lower, choppy. That one's got a big hit. So, I mean, you can just see them in the eyes, and just nothing has looked good. Injective dying on the vine there yesterday with a large extension lower, just not bouncing up. Just everything looks like this. I'll just let it play around. There's really nothing. The wise thing to do here is nothing. Just let it play. Let it make another pattern. Let it form something. Let it find a bottom. You don't have to be there for it. That's really the best thing I can say. Meme up 13%. That's strange. Just because you see one good token, don't let it get your adrenaline pumping. Just realize it's an outlier in a sea of trash. So I guarantee if you go to the Pacific Garbage Patch, maybe you'll pick up like a good something. You probably find something like, hey, I kind of want to take that home. That's probably useful. But does it mean you should? Probably not. That's what meme here is showing us. Probably shouldn't pick that up out of the Pacific Garbage Patch right now. Look at Near Protocol. That big drop yesterday. Ominous right down to the trend line. Did get a bounce. The question is, do you think it's worth trading? Think it's going to bounce off of it? Neo got beat up. And the O's now still in like one thing looked okay. OP. Like it's just sea of trash today. It's really all it is. So this is the saving grace ray, the one we've already looked at, stuck in the uptrend, stuck maybe in some type of a consolidation, but nothing you really want to. I mean, what do you do here? What's the play? What's the wise thing? Like, it's not an obvious trade. It's not obvious at all. It's already had a big run up, could consolidate up here. You've already had a big distribution day yesterday, and VA tool shows on the 2-hour at least distribution the past several days. And it also shows it here. You got a pocket pivot yesterday. Sellers are perking up. This one's staying with the buyers so far. But if that flips, this will go down. This will go up. And you'll start to see that divergence on the volume aggregation tool. Render with a huge day down. So you're just noticing just a train of trash. Look at that yesterday. I guess it rallied. Yeah, the day before, then all the way right back down. Really did look at that. Didn't even bench like, oh, I'll sell on a bounce. You never even get a bounce. It just doesn't happen. These must be pump and dumps. The dynamics on these are strange sometimes, but the amount of volume to get that going like that, I don't know. That's a lot. SEI just gave up that whole consolidation up there, so SEI is dead. And this was one of the ones looking okay. I guess except for the past 4 or 5 days. Stacks garbage. There's Sui not looking super great. So, just really nothing to do. All these coins look like garbage. Crap, 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 crap. Hey, that was the last one. I timed that one really well. Let's go over stocks for a little bit. Not forever. And then I'm just going to bounce, guys. Unless you guys really have anything you want me to look at, there's really nothing to do. The best takeaway from today is just let the market do better. You don't have to be involved. Just let it do better. Let it prove itself. It's not doing that. BTC, Solana, Tron are the only ones that even kind of look good. They look better a couple days ago, and today they don't look really good at all. So stocks kind of gave it up on Friday. NASDAQ kind of breached a new recent high, not all-time high, that's that one. But then big reversal, elevated volume. It is a Friday. And let's go into the 1 minute on this one because it was just from Friday. So it's just one day. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. I may have that up here. No, I don't. Yeah, we can take a look at that. So that first 2 hour candle on the smaller time frames, VA tool actually was relatively favorable on the market. And then they just kind of let it go by the end of the day. And the end of the day was bullish. So I'm not so sure it's the end of the market. But again, keep in mind that presidential election is now. I need to fill my mail-in ballot vote so they can manipulate it. Is it Tuesday? It's the 5th? When is the election? I'm going to Google this off screen here. Yeah, it's the 5th. So it is this, okay, 2 Tuesdays. So it's a week and a half. Yeah. Exactly, Mike. Exactly. Pre-election volatility, selling stuff at highs just in case, whatever. Maybe that's a wise thing to do. I did. So Friday, I kind of, I don't know. I flip-flopped my positions a little bit. Ended up down like 0.5%, something like that. Kept half the positions. Um, all my other accounts where I just market time. I really haven't made any moves in those. So I'm thinking of just holding. Because like I said, I still think after the election, I don't think it's going to be bad either direction, to be honest with you. Um, I know at top level of some of the policies, I don't know deeper level, but they're both going to spend money. They're both going to print billions and billions of dollars, maybe trillions of dollars. I don't know. So I don't think Trump is pledged to not print another dime. I don't think that's something he's done. And Kamala sure ain't doing that. So from that perspective, I mean, the market should get a boost regardless. Just matters if, defense sectors run or if construction sectors run. But regardless, tech's going to run pretty much. Tesla's been on a good footing. Tesla had a solid Friday. Solid Friday. I kind of wanted to buy some. I didn't, though. After earnings, the earnings day was great. Pretty classical gap scenario. So you pretty much buy at the open, the low of the day. We'll go back to. So there's the gap. There's the open. And you pretty much buy. You can wait 15 or 30 minutes. Some guys have that rule. Then they make the opening 15 or 30 minutes. This is a 1 minute. So you'd be buying, right here. And that would be your stop. Never gets hit, but not even close. And then extends up a little bit. This could try to go on a little bit of a run. I guess I'm not 100% sure the catalyst. What do you mean win this week? Election-wise, stock-wise, crypto-wise? What do you mean? Because the election's not next week, but the following week. The election, I don't know. I really don't know. Um, it's such a. I really have no idea. I could see how, because here's the thing. Kamala already ran and she lost. So now she's kind of being shoved in there. And I could see some people not liking that. But to vote Trump into office, the thing about Trump is I'm not even like his economic I kind of like what he does with some of his economic stuff. But he's just a shit person. So it just. And then he went on Flagrant. I listened to the whole Flagrant interview. He was pretty good on Flagrant. I'm like, wow, Trump actually let his guard down to these guys, and this is the Trump that everybody wants. Like that guy on Flagrant is the Trump everybody wants. If he could, but then he went back to being Trump after Flagrant. So I don't know. I really don't know. And then he says some shit like, um, he said some shit like he was gonna go after his political opponents and have them arrested, like Gestapo type shit. It's like, how can you even, no matter what you think about Kamala, when he says that kind of stuff, that disqualifies him in my mind. I don't give a fuck if you I don't care if you think I don't care if you think Kamala is going to give everyone $1 billion. I really don't care. That's a policy decision. Okay? That's a policy decision. And you may say that that disqualifies her from a policy perspective. But when a presidential candidate says he's going to go after the the Pelosi's that he doesn't like and says he's going to basically arrest them, like joke or not, that disqualifies you just from a constitutional perspective. Anyway, that's my opinion on the situation. You can call it bias, call it whatever you want, but in that, from that perspective, I don't see how Trump wins. But I mean, weirder shit's happened, obviously. So I really have no freaking idea. Kamala better win in my eyes, just because I I don't want to be in a situation where where I gotta guess if what he's gonna do. Like if he was the guy on Flagrant, he'd win by a landslide. To be quite honest with you, if he was the guy on Flagrant, he would win by a landslide. I may even vote for him, to be honest with you, because his policies aren't like super bad. He's got a bunch of dumb shit that I don't think. Oh yeah, tons of Trump supporters near you. Yeah, this country is so split right now, Mike. It's crazy. It's absolutely bonkers. Um, and I don't get it. I just don't get it. I really don't. I really don't. Anyway, that all being said, it's 9:30. That's my time, guys. But yeah, so man, I don't know. Look, if Trump wins, I don't think he's going to be arresting people. I don't think he's going to be. He'll probably try to do the immigration roundup thing, which he's been talking about. He's not going to start arresting people, but just he shouldn't even like. Why would you even say that? Just to the point. And then if he does that, if he so I don't think he's going to do that. But if he does that, it's the worst thing that's ever happened probably in this country internally that I can think of. Barring the actual assassination of Kennedy, which was probably an inside job in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if Oswald worked alone, but like barring a presidential assassination, arresting your political components in the United States of America is fucking treasonous in my opinion. So I don't think he's gonna do it, and he better not do it if he wins. But yeah, I got no fucking idea, no fucking clue. But I gotta roll, guys. I coach the team, so I can't be late, and I gotta kind of get shit ready. So I gotta bounce, guys. Crypto sucks. Stock market's gonna get shot because of the election. Nobody knows who's gonna win, and I don't know. I'm not the biggest Kamala fan either, but you know, back when everyone said anybody else, Kamala's anybody else. So that's what you got to do. All right, guys, have a good one. I'll see you guys next time, whenever that is for you watching. I'll see you then. Bye bye.